Here's another Keepsake Crafts video for House of Gems. Today we're making these bead earrings with wonderful silver wire accents. So to start, we're going to first make our own head pin for these longer beads. Start with a 6.5 inch piece of wire and use the very tips of your round nose pliers to make a very small loop. Once you get the first loop made, switch to chain nose pliers to make a spiral. So we're just going to wrap around that loop one full turn. And then once you've come around once, grab it with chain nose pliers right below the spiral and bend it back so that it's centered over the wire like a lollipop. And then we'll bring in our bench block and a hammer and just flatten that a bit. Then you go ahead and slide on your bead, and this is very similar to other wrapped loops we've made in the past. Bend the wire at a 90-degree angle, tuck in your round nose pliers to make a loop, reposition so you can finish the loop, and then hold that loop with chain nose pliers. And now we've got this wonderful long piece of wire to do messy wraps. And so we'll just kind of fill that in. And this looks really good if you patina it with liver of sulfur. And then you can just go ahead and trim off that wire and tuck in the tail end. And there's the one bead finished. For our 8mm beads, you need to cut a 4.5 inch piece of wire. Make a 90-degree bend 2 inches from one end. Use your round nose pliers to make a loop. Reposition the pliers, finish the loop so the wires end up 90-degree angles from each other. Go ahead and twist that loop open just a little bit so you can slide it onto the loop that you just made for the other bead. And then use chain nose pliers to close that loop and to hold it. And you're going to start by making a single wrap, just one. I'm going to hold this a little as far down as I can manage, because what I'm doing here, I'm doing it differently than normal. Usually you're wrapping down this wire, but what I'm doing here, I'm using the edge of my pliers to make a spiral. And so we're making this wire into a bead cap. And then I'm just going to trim off that little bit of wire, tuck in the end. Then you can slide on your bead and then bend the wire down at a 90-degree angle right against the bead. Tuck your round nose pliers in there, make a loop, reposition, make another loop, and then in this case actually we can form the spiral against the bead. Like we formed it against the pliers, now we can form it against the bead. So you can see you have the wire making a bead cap. Go ahead and trim and file the wire as before. And then the last step is to open up the loop of your ear wire. Insert the loop of your top bead, close it up, and there you go.